Hey, Kyle here, out on the range today, talking to you about the fundamentals of the prone position. When I get into the prone and I start shooting a gun, I like to dial it back to old school, if you will, and I like to run the irons. Shooting irons well will make it so you can shoot everything else well. So add to that, they need to be zeroed anyway because you got them on the gun. A lot of guys are skipping that step now, so and there's a lot of good things out there. There's a lot of good programs that you can get into that really highlight the rifleman's quarter mile, 500 yards. Most of these guns, the 14.5 to 16-inch barrels especially, can shoot that, no problem. So you got some Appleseed comps out there. You got the Rifleman's Challenge, and all that stuff's good. So let's talk about what really is needed for a strong prone position shot and for zeroing, which we're going to be talking about in later episodes. All right, first off, one of the most common prone positions that I see nowadays is resting the mag on the deck. This is especially true for a M4 AR-15. So you can actually rest the mag on the ground. It will not cause a malfunction. That's an old wives' tale. So I come in here, I get my same grip that I have in the standing position, not kneeling. My forward grip changes a little bit kneeling, and more on that later. But basically just in here, the first thing I'm gonna do is get natural point of aim. So I get behind the gun, I line up on my target, I'm gonna close my eyes and take a breath in. If you guys watch the end of my barrel, watch what happens when I breathe in. Here we go. You see that barrel dip low. That's why breathing is so important when you shoot. Okay, so I open up my eye. Notice I have not broken cheek weld, and I am to the left of the target. So I'm gonna pick up my hips, I'm gonna move them to the left. That will push my barrel to the right, and I'm gonna do the natural point of aim again. Close my eyes, in and out. Open my aiming eye, and I'm right on target. Okay, so that's where I need to go. So next I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot. But before I do that, we wanna talk about my placement of my hand on this pistol grip. All right, so for sake of teaching this, I'm gonna break natural point of aim. Remember that anytime you do that, you get natural point of aim, then you break it, you gotta reestablish it again. So the gun's on fire, and what I wanna talk about here is when we put our fingers on the trigger, is one fundamental of prone, especially with a carbine, is this elbow back here. So what ends up happening, I'm gonna put it back on safe for now. What ends up happening is guys will move the elbow out too far when they're in a prone position, and it takes the palm of their hand off this grip panel. And they end up putting their finger in the trigger in a real weird way. So what you want to make sure, one little fine point here, is to bring that elbow in a little bit just to make sure the palm maintains a little bit of contact here. All right, so once again, I get down in here, I get natural point of aim, all right? I got lucky, I'm there, okay? I know my hand is good right now. My breathing, I'm only gonna breathe in and out, and I'm only gonna shoot when I have no air in my lungs, all right? So here we go. Again, notice I didn't break cheek weld, just like that. All right, back on the safe. So a couple other fundamentals you need to apply when you're working iron sights. We need to make sure that we do not oversight the gun. It's very critical when you're talking about a rifle. A lot of times, guys will look at that front sight post for so long that it starts getting a little mushy. That's where your breathing and your natural point of aim will come into effect. Remember, breath in and out, another breath in and out, steady my sights, take my shot. If you have good natural point of aim, it's gonna be right there. You're not gonna have to fine tune it much at all. Another thing you need to consider with iron sight work is angular and parallel deviation of the sights. And here's what that means. Angular deviation is the rear peep of the iron sight moving in relation to the front sight post, all right? Parallel deviation is perfect alignment of the rear peep and the front post on target, and it moves anywhere in the bull. I don't care where in the bull it hits. So angular deviation is bad. A lot of guys will get angular deviation when they solely focus on the front sight. So you need to make sure that you focus on the front sight, it's on the target, back your vision off, pretend like your eyes are binoculars, back it off a little bit, and make sure that that front sight post is perfectly aligned with that rear peep. With that, natural point of aim and breathing, and your prone position will be solid, and you'll be channeling our forefathers who've been doing this stuff for hundreds of years. All right, so get out there, work your prone position. We'll see you on the range.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Raven Concealment System.